Hello, everyone, and welcome to Power Lunch Live. I'm Andrea Sweden, founder of Altitude Connections, and it's such a pleasure to have you all tuning in. It's also my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Brittany Lalonde, a woman with grace, intelligence, and charisma who lights up every room she walks into. Beyond her stunning presence, Brittany is an accomplished brand manager in the luxury hair extension market with a passion for the beauty service industry. Today, we're thrilled to have her join us and share her insights on where she got her start in salon management over a decade ago. As she climbed the ladder in the field, she saw an opportunity to go big and landed herself in the largest global brand in the hair extension category. Brittany services Quebec as the regional sales manager for Bellami Professional and assists in growing and developing high-end salons and stylists to increase their revenue through the sale of premium hair extensions, better social media skills, and focusing on owning your place as a female entrepreneur in this competitive industry. Her skill set truly lies with bringing the personal connection to every point of her business, with a strong focus on storytelling through social media marketing. When off the clock, she's the number one Bravo fan with a passion for home interiors and apparently with espresso martinis. Welcome, Brittany.
Thank you. Hi. I love that intro so much. Thank you. Especially saying I light up every room that I walk in. What a beautiful
You
compliment.
do. You do. You have this
Thank you.
beautiful aura and this good, nice smile that you're so warm. You're
Oh,
very approachable.
thank you so much. That's so sweet. And we recently met in person too, which I think was really nice for
Exactly.
this. So I really appreciate
Exactly.
that. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So we have so many questions, and I know it's only a power lunch live for half an hour, so let's jump to it.
Do it.
So, what initially drew you to the beauty service industry, and how did your journey lead to managing high-end salons and stylists?
So I think like a lot of people, I fell into the industry that I'm in. I didn't intend to be in it. It came from a lot of like passion and excitement that I had, but initially I went to school and did my degrees to be a teacher. I loved
Oh,
reading. I loved writing. I did very, very well in school academically, and my parents really pushed me and said, you really have to go to university. You have to do something grand with your life, academic
mhm.
wise. And I saw that for myself. Like I said, I love to write. So I did some degrees, in the arts. I have multiple degrees in English literature, in sorry, in like the arts program. I
Okay.
also have a degree in teaching English as a second language.
Mm-hmm.
So I really was on a path for a very long time to be
Okay.
a teacher and to dive into that. Um, but life has a funny way of, changing your direction. And when I was in university, I needed a part-time job to get by. And I had a friend of a friend that recommended me to get, a part-time job in a salon spa.
Okay.
And at the time, this salon doesn't exist anymore, but it was the major salon that had been open for, I think, like 30 years in the Queen Elizabeth
Oh,
Hotel. And I went to work there, and, I was young. I was just learning this industry for the first time. And it became one of those things where the people that I work with really became family, and I got introduced to this industry. And I kind of, how they say, saw how the sausage is made.
yeah.
Um, and, I had an owner of this salon too who was very willing to let me take the reins,
Okay.
teach me what needed to be taught, but also leave us there to do it. And I really started to be like, wow, this is amazing when you get to like manage a team and run the schedule and book the appointments and deal with the hotel and deal with the guests. And I fell in
Mhm.
love with it. And then eventually, unfortunately, that salon closed because we know a few years ago the Queen Elizabeth Hotel underwent those amazing renovations that they did.
That's right.
And when they were closing, the owner of another salon came in to purchase some of our salon equipment, and she instantly met me and said, I need you to come work for me.
Oh,
You must need a job. The salon is closing, right? And I said, I do. And so that's how I landed at the salon that I ended up managing for, I think I was there for like 6 or 7 years. And I kind
okay.
of worked my way up there. Um, and all of this was while I was doing my university degree, while I was doing my teaching English as a second language degree. I always managed both at the same time.
Mhm.
Um, and I felt like for a long time I was in this world where I was caught between what I was studying in school and what I wanted to, what I knew other people wanted from me, which was to go on and be a teacher and have a certain level of success and stability, I guess you could say. And my
Mhm.
part-time job that was quickly turning into adding hours and becoming my full-time job in the beauty industry. And I rode that wave of the two for a long time, and then eventually I graduated. I finished my school, and I was just focusing on entrepreneurship and running a small business, which was a beauty salon,
Wow.
for 5 years.
Wow. So you
Yeah.
never even went into teaching.
I only taught briefly during the pandemic
Okay.
online,
Okay.
when there was lockdowns and all of that. I did teaching overseas online, which was really helpful. But no, I did my degree in teaching in 2019, and I actually graduated, I think, the first month that we went into lockdown of COVID.
Oh, wow.
So I never really had time to put it into practice because, um, a lot of things happened and perspired for me. And that's the way, I mean, it went on to Bellamy. But I did manage that salon and a business of, I think at our most, we were maybe 23 um, employees working at our salon for quite a long time. And that's where I really, really fell in love with the beauty industry, because
Mm,
that business was so wildly successful. And it
that's
was two
true.
best friends who started a spray tan. It started as a spray tan business,
Okay.
and had so much success. And I really saw how incredibly inspiring it was to have an idea, have it come to fruition, and then build on that every day. Like really build a brand and see it have success based on what you put into it. And I was a really big part of that journey for them. I managed their salon, I did reception for them, I did spray tans when I needed to, I trained, I hired, I
Wow.
fired. I really did it all. And I'm really grateful to the owner of that salon who gave me that opportunity to do that, and grow with the company for quite a long time, because I credit that 100% to the entrepreneurial spirit that I have now and all of the skills I have. Because when you're running a small business, it's sink or swim.
That's right.
It's
Exactly.
sink
And
or
you really
swim.
get to know it from the beginning. You get to learn all the
Exactly.
nitty-gritty
Yes.
tasks
Yeah.
also. This is all before Bellamy.
This is all before Bellamy. Yeah. Just how I got into
Wow.
it. Yeah. And unfortunately, the pandemic was very hard on small businesses, very hard on the beauty industry. We were, closed and locked down and weren't able to work for a long time. And unfortunately, the owner of that business, even though we had grand plans to, potentially, actually go into business, buy into the business, she had to lay me off temporarily. Well, it wasn't very temporary, but for a certain amount of period, so that the business could succeed, because they weren't able to carry my salary, which, no hard feelings there. I totally understood. COVID was very hard on
Yes.
people. But
Yeah.
in that moment when I was laid off, I was kind of like, okay, this is my moment. I just graduated with my teaching degree. I've been laid off from this business. What do I do? Do I throw myself into beauty 100%, or do I go back into teaching? And I decided to just throw myself into beauty in any way that I could
Okay.
and really focus on that. And I have a friend who used to be my employee at the salon who works with Bellamy. She's our educator and she's still with Bellamy today,
Mm,
who said, hey, you know what, Britt? Bellamy is hiring right now for a role that you are way overqualified for, but it's an amazing company. It's a huge opportunity. The demand is growing in Montreal, let alone in Quebec.
go
Why don't you just
for it.
interview and go for it? Yeah. And the job, I'm going to be fully transparent. It was in customer service, work from home. It was not anything that I wanted to be doing, but I knew it was the right company. I had worked with them previously in our salon. We offered Bellamy extensions, and I was
Okay.
like, let's just do it. Let's just get my foot in the door. And I believed in myself and said, you know what? If I take this role, even though it's not the role that I want, I know in a very short period of time, I could have the role that I do want.
Good for you.
I didn't know
Good
what that
for
role
you.
is. I had no information about the internal structure of the company or how it worked or anything. I just knew this is a really good beauty company. Let's do it.
That's amazing. So you
Yeah.
really climbed the
Well,
ladder.
Well, I think I got like 3 promotions within the first year and a half of working
Wow.
there, which was really funny. And the people around me at the time were saying like, you should like you're the master class on how to move up in a company within a really short amount
For
of time.
sure. Three
Yeah.
promotions in 1 year.
Yeah, right away within customer service, within a few months, they moved me to sales, which was really nice. And I was working kind of remotely, like it's an intro to sales type of job. It's kind of like a get your foot in the door, learn about the company, like, but all from home. It was remote, which was great during the time. It was like 2020, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I actually got hired and helped grow that team at the beginning of inside sales. And then I was a manager of that team and I built their infrastructure out for how they kind of actually do things today, which is really cool.
Okay.
Um, so then I was the manager for that team for a while. And then they were like, you know what, you're in Quebec. We don't have a rep there. Let's give you that territory and let's see what happens. And I've been
Wow.
doing this role now for 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But I must say, I must give credit to the company that they give the opportunity to the employees that they have.
absolutely. Um, well, one thing that I loved about Bellamy from the very beginning and reminded me so much of the salon, and like I said, starting with a company from the beginning and seeing how it
Right.
grew is exactly the same story. Even though it's a global, huge brand, they were extremely bootstrapped from the beginning. And I've been with them for over 5 years, and the growth that I've seen from this company is incredible. A lot of people don't know it was actually founded by an Iranian immigrant. Her name is Nikki Islami, who is from Vancouver. So it's actually originally founded in Canada. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so she was from Vancouver and she has this gorgeous Iranian thick hair and could not find clip-in extensions at the time. This is like, we're going back 15 years, to match her natural density and texture. And so she
Okay.
said, you know what? I can't find it. I'm going to create it. And
Yeah.
she partnered up with the right people, created it, moved the business to LA, and it's been LA based ever since. Um,
It was her
but
time.
being It was her time, absolutely. And being with the company when you were working with the original founders was incredible. So when I came on, I was working with one of the original founders. And
Okay.
I couldn't believe when I actually saw and got in there the infrastructure of the company, how what I was seeing happen in the market and what I knew of this brand, of who the actual people were doing it, and how small it actually was from the inside. And these people
Right.
were doing something incredible. And that really inspired me to really want to be a part of something great as it was still growing, as it was still getting to that level, even though they were already huge. It was really, really inspiring, and they believed in me from the beginning and helped me grow. And yeah, it's been really quite a journey, but an amazing company to work with and see grow from the begin from the
Absolutely.
inception stage. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Yes. Oh, they have a great name.
yeah.
So, Bellami Professional is the global leader in the hair extension
Yeah.
category. So, what sets the brand apart in such a competitive market?
I think exactly what I just said, just being from the very beginning really focused on not they were always focused on the customer, the end customer and the end client,
Okay.
instead of being focused too much on the corporate and, financials. Like, of course that's important, but they
Mm-hmm.
always from the beginning were like, we care about the end client, them feeling really, really empowered and feeling good behind the chair. But then also the stylist doing their hair, how can we empower them to want to make more money by doing
Right.
extensions, to learn and educate themselves and grow? And they always from the beginning cared about that. When I
Okay.
started in customer service, I said, the policies and procedures and things that I were taught and how we dealt with things, I said, if this is how they treat their customers, imagine how they're going to treat their employees. So that
Of
only
course.
motivated me
Yes.
more to want to work for them. So I think we kept that spirit throughout many years that we've been in business, is always caring about, the client and never losing that like backstory, I think, that we have that's so inspiring.
Of
Um,
course.
and at the same time being always the first to market, to be innovative, to do it the best and the grandest when we do come to market with new products, new innovations, and just amazing customer service. We really do have the best sales team out there because we have the best customer service. And I actually don't even consider most other companies or brands, competition, because I go into things knowing I really do have the best product on the market. I know that I can help people make money,
Right.
um, and
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 look
and
and look
look
great.
good. the end
Yes.
clients look good. We're helping
Mhm.
them. We're offering a hair solution. You know, people have a lot of hair problems and we're offering solutions to that. So I don't even go into it thinking like, what if they use another brand or what if they don't like it? I know I have the best product and I'm helping them. So I go from that place. And I think all of our sales reps do. And I think that's why we're kind of set apart from a lot of other brands that maybe they're like, they don't have a direct sales team. It's kind of just buy online and then you have to call into customer service and figure it out if
Right.
something doesn't well. And at the end of the day, we're leading with, like I said, education, finding solutions for people. And I think that resonates more than anything with
Uh,
the end consumer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you believe in the
Yep.
product, and so does the stylist. So you
Absolutely.
train, do you train the stylist as well?
Yeah, so in my role, I organize all of the education that we hold here in Quebec.
Okay.
And so I work with an amazing team of educators. We have some that are local here in Quebec, some in Toronto. We can even have educators come in from the US and the rest of Canada to hold classes here. But we work with an amazing education team and they offer classes, which is really wonderful. And
Mm-hmm.
they do all of the training here, and I schedule all that those classes and it's really great. We're known obviously for our hair and our quality, but second best is our education, which is really powerful because from the beginning, our education has been one of the things I believed in most because that's where the inception starts of not only learning how to do extensions if you're a hairdresser, but how to build your
Right.
business. And I think that's so important. And it's where so many other companies are lacking is they're not teaching the stylist how to build a successful, lucrative extension business.
Exactly.
Because you could be the most talented person for balayage, for extensions, for anything, building out salons, whatever it may be. But if you do not have a business that can support itself and know how to market, know how to promote, know how to do your back end financials and what your numbers are, like, good luck.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's the overall.
Yeah. And
Of
that's
course.
a huge part of our class is the business building, the social media marketing that we teach you, how to do consultations, how to make the right choices for your clients. Like it's really not just learning
Oh.
to do extensions. It's really a well-rounded class. We call it the master class because it really is that to build out a business. And that's what I'm so passionate about. Of course, I don't do extensions every
Mm-hmm.
day. Wish I could. I'm talking to hairdressers all day long, but I don't do extensions. But
Okay.
I'm really passionate about the business side of things. And I feel like that's where I have the most to teach and people have the most to learn, really.
That's nice. That's nice that you want to give and show, and your stylists are ready to receive.
For the most part, sometimes they're not. You'll meet some people sometimes that are out of class and are not ready to receive.
Really?
But
Okay.
of course, it's like anything,
That's
you
right.
know, like when some people
That's
are
right.
open to
You're right.
learning and some people aren't, and that's fine. But when they are and you grab
Right.
them and they get it, it's the most rewarding thing in the
Exactly.
world.
Well, you're
Yeah.
giving the tools, so it's
Yeah,
for them to really to use them, and you're not going to hold their hand
exactly.
to use the tools.
Yeah.
But you also emphasize a lot on storytelling through social media marketing. What are the key ingredients to crafting a compelling narrative and something that resonates with the clients?
Well, I like to teach all of my clients the same things that I had to learn myself that work really well for me. So I'm really into social media. I love to market my business online. And that's where maybe I'm a little bit different than a lot of other
Mm-hmm.
sales reps, even in our company. Some people are a little bit more direct. Of course, I'm in person, I'm direct as well. But I really see that my clients, hairdresser salons, are on Instagram, right? Just like the end client is on Instagram. That's where they're shopping, that's where they're looking for things. So that's where I really like to get in with my clients. And that's why I kind of created my own brand, Brittany with the good hair,
Okay.
right? I wanted something memorable. I wanted something, a brand within a brand. So
Mm-hmm.
of course I work for Bellamy at the end of the day, but I am my own brand. I'm here. I'm the manager of Quebec. People are dealing with me day to day. They want to have to work with me and buy into me before they buy into the brand,
That's
right?
right.
Because how many times have you dealt with a company, but you don't like the sales rep, or you don't like the person that you're dealing with, or you don't like the person at the cash, right? It
Exactly.
doesn't want to make you buy at that company or work with them if you're not engaging with the right people. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided to create a really strong brand for myself, to be really social media focused, to be genuine, and also to be very human on social media, which I
Right.
think is lacking a lot of the time,
That's
unfortunately.
true. That's
Um,
true.
so many people are like, well, I created a great brand and I have an amazing logo and look how nice my page looks. But it's like, are you on there being honest? Are you on there showing people the things that maybe they don't necessarily want to see that look pretty, but that resonate with others, right? So I always try to be on there and really be myself. I like to show my face. I like to talk about my struggles even sometimes. I like to show my clients when we're out to, dinner or a coffee,
Right.
having, having a
Well, you
tasting.
want to show the human side of you.
Exactly, the human side of things. So I did all
Okay.
of that for my page from the very beginning, and I will say it completely helped me build my business and my genuine connections. That's just the initial thing. Obviously, people meet you in person and it grows from there. Trust is built in person. I still believe that 100%. But the initial engagement and the social media marketing really can happen a lot from social media. And all of the skills that I use and I've gained, I share that with my clients and tell them to use that in their business, right? So there
Okay.
could be a salon or a stylist, and I look at their Instagram and I think, well, I look at your page and I'm not sure where you work. I'm not sure what you do. I'm not sure who you are and what you represent and what services you're offering. And I can't find a contact number. And
Oh.
so I like to really do a deep dive with their social media and kind of go through everything with them, even if they maybe don't want to hear it, and tell them how they can improve. Hey, Alexandra, you may be the best balayage artist and soon to be extension artist at, Salon, Susie Salon, but I can't find where you work. I can't tell that. And you're not telling me an engaging story. And so I kind of, give them tips and tricks on how they can build their brand and how they can make it easier for clients to find them and how they can create engaging content that's going to
Absolutely.
speak to their clients, right? Because they could go to any salon and they could go to any extension
Mhm.
person. But what's going to be the difference of working with our brand and offering your services? And I think that's where I really try to coach them to become more engaging in what they do and tell a story that's true. Not just the highlight reel. It's one
Absolutely.
thing to post a beautiful picture. Hey, look at these 24-inch extensions I did. Okay, great. But
And
let's learn more about it because lots of people
right,
post pictures of their hair, right?
right.
So that's where I try to be a little bit different in
You
my
empower
part.
them.
Empower them. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, everyone is on Instagram. That's where we shop. That's where we're looking for new things. That's where we're getting inspired. That's where we're
It's
connecting with
true.
people and friends. So if you're not on Instagram at this point,
No, yeah. You're in trouble.
you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's why Bellamy has a whole section in our masterclass just on social media marketing. And I think most of it is just all about Instagram and how to improve your page and create a business page and use the analytics to your benefit and so many interesting
Right.
things
Yes. Well, I
that
read
Bellamy
that in the
does.
bio and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, wow, they even do social media. How cool is
Yeah.
that? That's like another level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So to be long
great.
winded.
No, it's nice. It's like you're very passionate about helping women and entrepreneurs, which it's truly appreciated. What's the biggest piece of advice for a woman looking to break into beauty business that you would like to share?
I would say I would like the advice that wasn't given to me when
Mm-hmm.
when I was thinking about wanting to go into beauty and being told by everyone in my life that I would never make money, that I wouldn't be successful, that it would be extremely hard and very competitive.
Okay.
All of those things,
Mm-hmm.
some of those things are true, but most of them are not. I make more money than I would if I had been a teacher, by far. I do what I love every single day.
Okay.
And yes, I'm in a competitive market, but I chose exactly the right company and the right time and the right avenue for what I knew that I would succeed in. So, of course, things are competitive, but at the end of the day, it's what you bring to it and your spin on things, and that's worked really well for me. So I would love, my advice, I guess, to say would be, don't listen to the outside noise. Try to quiet that as much as possible and realize there is a real lucrative career in beauty if you do it the right way. Like
Great.
some of my clients in Bellamy are crazy rich. To put it nicely, they're crazy rich and they've made an amazing company for themselves, an amazing business. They have beautiful build out salons and they're doing great extensions, following the path that Bellamy's given them. But also, I mean, if you ask those people, like they were probably told by people in their life, well, oh, maybe you should be more than a
That's
hairdresser. But
true.
you know what I
There
mean?
is
And
a
so many,
taboo. There is a
there
taboo about
is.
that. Yes, you're
There's
right.
so much of a taboo, and
Mhm.
people saying, well, you're just a hairdresser, you're just this. But yeah, you can be just a hairdresser if that's all you give to it, and that even if that's all you want to do
That's
and
right.
just be a hairdresser, and that's fine. You know what? We can't also shame people. But if you really want to go into this industry and have a lot of success, there are so many amazing avenues that you don't even know about that you could get into, extensions being one of them. But even me, like having gone to school to be a teacher and then ending up as a beauty sales rep or a beauty sales manager, there's so many different avenues that people don't even know about, and it's really what you put into it. And so never listen to what people have to say is my number one advice, and
Good.
do it for yourself, and do find the successful way, the way that you can be successful,
And
and
happy,
it can work
happy
for
to
you and
deliver
happy.
what
Yeah.
fulfills you.
Yeah, because one of the best things that I love about it is so many of my top global clients in Bellamy that are here in Quebec are making an amazing living, but they're so happy every single day with what they do. They love their job, they love their clients, and they're like, I never thought I would be able to be this successful doing this. And that's like super empowering and inspiring.
Of
Um,
course.
and there's not always like a cookie cutter way to get to something. So, however it ends up being, it's really about your tenacity and your, ability to focus on your strengths and just right time, right place, I guess.
Absolutely. And now beauty products are like the biggest trend. I
Yeah.
mean, so where would you see the hair extension market heading in the next 5 years?
Well, I've seen crazy growth in Quebec just in the last 2 years since I've been in this role.
Okay.
And so I'm projecting that in 5 years that the standard is going to be that you walk into a salon and that half of the staff are either certified or offering extensions in the chair, so that it's visible and that there is no taboo anymore. Because unfortunately, in the past, I think there's a lot of taboo with hair
Yeah.
extensions. I think people see it as like something they want to hide, or they don't want anyone to know,
Okay.
and they don't want to show what their hair looks like when they're not wearing them. But I think that that is slowly going away, and we're starting to be more open, just like a lot of beauty services like
That's
Botox, like
true.
all
You're
of these
right.
other things that we do. People are starting to be like, no, like there's nothing wrong with this.
No,
Like people have a hair problem, we're providing the solution.
exactly.
There's many health reasons why someone would have hair loss, hair thinning, loss of density, like something that they don't like about their hair, or their hair just doesn't grow. Maybe they got a bad bleach service one time and their hair is damaged, and they don't like the way it looks. There's so many things with extensions that it solves those problems.
It's true.
And previously, like I said, a lot of taboo around wearing them, and now it's the Kardashians and red carpets are so honest now that, like, hey, this hair looks amazing, but this hair is not all her
Right,
hair.
right,
It's
right.
extensions, it's a look worked on by amazing hardworking stylists, but it's artistry,
Of
right? And
course.
so just
It's
being
art.
honest, yeah, it really is art. Like we recently just did, I think it was the Academy Awards. We did Nicole Kidman's hair, and I was like, I never thought that I would see Bellamy extensions on Nicole Kidman.
Right.
Um,
Huh.
but like, she's a woman
Why
of a
not?
certain age. She wanted this grand, over the top
Exactly. And
look,
maybe thickness as well.
thickness, and she got it, and she succeeded in it. And like so many looks that we see on red carpets, celebrities, Instagram posts, it's
Of course.
extensions. So there's no
Yes.
reason to make yourself feel bad if you don't have the hair of your dreams. It's probably extensions, and you can have it. You just have to pay for it.
Exactly. And you just need
Yeah.
to feel good. Think of
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
for a
So I
change.
see the market going to that. Extensions are no longer a taboo. They're standard in the market. Every salon, in the world is offering them. Um, and just, yeah, like something that we just make a part of regular life. And it's not something that people don't want to talk about anymore.
Exactly.
But I'm already seeing the direction go that way. So it's exciting.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. Now, Bellamy's worldwide.
Yeah, we are global. Yeah.
Okay, you're
Mhm.
global.
Mhm.
Wonderful. And before we get to like some personal questions, because the time already passed, I could spend another hour with you.
It's true. It's true. It's already over 30 minutes.
It's already 30 minutes. Wow. I wanted to ask for Bellamy, do they have the hair products as well?
Yeah,
Like
we
shampoo,
have.
cream,
Yes, yeah, we
and
have
hairspray?
hair, obviously. We
Yes, of
have
course.
clip-ins, ponytails, but we also have like shampoos, conditioners. We have silk pillowcases, brushes, accessories. We really do have it all. And then,
Okay.
of course, all of the items to like do classes. So education, tools. It's huge. We have everything. Hot tools, blow dryers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's
yeah.
really, it's wide.
It's wide.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, personal. Two questions only.
Okay.
So what's your favorite show? You talk about your off
Well,
the
show
clock.
is really difficult, but it would be any Bravo show. I'm really obsessed with The Real Housewives. I have
Okay.
watched every episode of every franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That was my lockdown goal, was to watch all of them because I wasn't really watching them when they aired, but I got really into it afterwards, and now I would say all of them. Right now, my
Okay.
favorite is The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because they're absolutely nuts and I love it. Yeah, but I would say any housewife show is probably my favorite. But I'm really into White Lotus right now too. Yeah,
Okay. Oh yeah, I've heard about that one.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
great show.
Oh, wonderful. And you mentioned espresso martinis. Is that something you enjoy drinking,
Uh,
making, or both?
Both.
Wow.
I love
Yeah,
an
you
espresso
won.
martini. Yeah. I feel like they got super popular a few years ago and I had never heard of an espresso martini. And then I had one and I was like, wow, I love coffee and I love vodka.
Yeah, what a
Best of
perfect
both
blend.
worlds.
What a perfect blend. You could
Yeah.
have coffee in the morning without the alcohol and
Yeah.
with in the after
Yeah.
hours. So that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. This was a lot of
You.
fun.
Yes.
And for the ones who missed it, and if you have friends that want to reach out and hear more about it, they can go to Spotify. It will be transferred there and on YouTube. And if anybody wants to reach you, Brittany, they go straight to your page,
Straight to my
right?
page, send me a direct message, especially stylists who want to learn about Bellamy or take a class. Send me a message. Super happy to help you in any capacity that I can. Or even if you're just a client and you're like, where can I find a salon that's offering it? Like, I have a salon locator. I can share any one of my recommendations with you. So send me a message.
Wonderful. All right. Well, have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much for
Thank you
having me,
so
Andrea.
much. My
Take care.
pleasure. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.